Darkness swallow my sight. Endless miles no end in sight. Engines screaming, souls collide. Lost on this nightmare ride. Concrete serpents turning cold. Travel secrets, tales untold. Highway ghosts, they haunt the lane. Echoes of my fear and pain. Concrete serpents looking cold. Travel secrets, tales untold. Highway ghosts, they haunt the lane. Echoes of my fear and pain.
Oh my gosh, good evening, Nightmare Roadshow crew. It is I finally get the chance to speak first, Messy Jessie, and I am so happy to introduce the mysterious and lovely SOS.
SOS, who looks like Jackie O right now, because my face is that big around. And I am here with our CIA agent,
Dirty Birdie, and I am joined with the mysterious, lovely, raven-haired.
Actually, Oracle, I'm Dirty Birdie to introduce me every time.
Right?
With the best stuff.
It was really good. And just so everybody knows, I had surgery on my face 2 days ago. So I swore I would not miss an episode, but my head is that big. So I have to hide.
Yep.
Anyway.
And I think tonight we have a decon on special assignment. So he is not appearing today.
I'm going to make sure that all of our noise reduction stuff is off.
Okay.
And yeah, what do we have today?
Oh my gosh, you guys. So we are talking about haunted ghost trains or ghost trains. Choo choo. Yep. I hear it every day.
Choo choo's that go blue.
I know. So yeah. So who wants to start with their ghost train?
I'll start with mine. I came across this search on the internet. It was from Reddit. I can't remember the username. But this was way back when, I think in the 80s in Texas, in the Panhandle. And he was saying that there used to be a rail line that went through his town. And this town was out in the middle of nowhere. You know, like your neighbor was 5 miles away type of deal. But he said that the rails and the ties were gone. It was just that dirt pebble line.
The rail bed.
The bed. And stretched for miles. And one day him and his buddy got on their bikes and they were going to bike a distance away to go fishing at a creek. And they're riding their bikes back home. And when they're riding their bikes back home, he swears he hears the whistle from a steam engine, just that you know what it sounds like. And he turns around, and he doesn't see anything. And a little while later, he hears it again, and this time it's closer. And he turns to his buddy and says, "Pedal faster." I don't know what that is, but pedal faster. So pedaling faster and faster and faster, and the whistle blows again, and it's almost right on top of them. Both kids went either direction off the bed, dumped their bikes, and as soon as they did, they swear they heard or felt the wind of a steam engine roaring past them.
Wow.
And just
interesting.
Yeah. There's quite a few stories of people living up in the Appalachians saying that even though there's a defunct rail line, and sometimes they'll sit on their back porch and they'll hear the steam engine, the steam whistle go off. even though there hasn't been a rail line in there for hundreds of years. So it's kind of
Yeah,
fascinating.
it is a fascinating concept to be able to hear something like that because where I live, the wind has to be just right. The atmosphere has to be just right for me to hear the rail line. And so you got to wonder if that residual haunt and then the atmosphere has to be just right for that
Hmm.
residual to come through like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. It'd be interesting.
Oh, the old brick tape theory.
The what?
The brick tape theory.
What is
Not.
that?
Um, okay, back in the old days when they used to make bricks, they get it out of a quarry, and sometimes the quarry would have little flecks of quartz crystal in it. They bake
Oh
the brick,
yeah.
they build the building, so it's basically just like a big energy cube, and especially with old copper wire stuff like that. And then bad stuff would go down or something like that, and it would be imprinted into the building itself. So
Oh,
Hmm.
date, time, temperature, stuff like that sets off an event, and then it's gone
interesting.
until that event shows back up again. That's what they call brick tape theory.
I've, in all of my paranormal years, never heard that. That's really fascinating. I like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really interesting, though, to think that that quartz is, you know, keeping that energy there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
like that though.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's crazy
What
to
did you have,
hear.
Ash?
So this one I actually found today while I was at work. It's been a busy week, folks.
Slacker.
I know. It's been a wild week. So this one is a ghost train in New York. And people report that the lined route throughout the city and the suburbs, there is this light of a train that goes through there. And they can't explain it. They know it's not a vehicle because the road is below the railroad line.
Okay.
So they're saying that this white train's name was literal. All of the cars were painted white, so that's where it got its name. And so the railroad train held a place of prominence as the fastest mode of transportation in New York when it was going. So that's the train that they're suspecting it was. They're suspecting it was this white train. And so let's see here. So back in the day, I'm guessing this was when like a lot of poverty was going on in New York or something, because it says that they were trying to bring people back to this train when it was up and running, but a lot of people were not coming back to it. Just nobody was really riding trains at that time, and so it just stopped running. Nothing tragic happened with this train, nothing. But people are still seeing this light, and they suspect that it was this white train.
Oh,
So it was kind of interesting because I was thinking, okay, you're in New York. Isn't there just a lot of like subways there now? There's not a lot of trains even going on there right now anymore.
there's
Um,
quite a lot of trains that go
yeah.
from New York City out to the
Okay, I
suburbs.
was thinking they were more of like subways than
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
actual
yeah.
they
trains.
have subways too, but they have a rail yard.
They
They
have
have to.
rail yards. There's a
Okay,
lot of
Yeah.
train
interesting.
stations through there.
Which
Yeah.
I believe is connected over by like New Jersey because it's not in Manhattan. A
Hmm.
lot of the trains is like on the outskirts of the town.
Oh, that
And
makes
like
sense.
yeah. So
Yeah, because a lot of people they live like by train an hour or two,
Hmm.
even 2 hours out of the city and commute every day by train.
Well,
yes,
and
So,
because
even like the railroad tracks in Blackfoot, I've heard people say stories about those that they'll hear like the banging of like the railroad what are they called? Are they called nails or are they called like tacks or
the
something?
ties.
Ties, thank
Oh,
you.
oh, the spikes into the ties.
Yeah, they can hear them being hammered in and I've heard it mostly happens at night, but there's obviously nothing going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
It's interesting when you walk old rail lines, you can feel
yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
believe in
crazy.
Pocatello, there was like a ghost train as well as a conductor that walks the train tracks down there. So
Oh, really?
Really?
on second where Annie Halls is. And
Yeah.
Oh,
I
right
Okay.
there,
think I know what you're
remember I
talking
was
about.
telling you guys, yeah, there's a conductor. Even my grandpa Mitten used to talk about that and how they would
Mhm.
see him on certain, where you're talking about certain weather conditions and stuff like that, and how they would see
Oh,
him walking. And he was, I've heard two different stories that he's like an omen for weather predicting,
Huh.
or it was just an omen for a disaster.
I
So
wonder what
I
kind of
haven't got
weather.
it could be, I don't know, but my grandpa Mitten would say that he's seen it quite a few times being a conductor.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Huh. Makes me kind of want to go there.
It's really cool. Like, you definitely can get a sense of what the country has put into these trains, you
Mhm.
know, and what it means to people, and, you know, truly is a gateway for,
Yeah.
you know, was one of the main, like, transportation for people way back in the day, and not so much now, but, you know, that was how they got to a place faster. There was no
Mhm.
planes, you know, stagecoach took you like, what, 6 months it seemed like.
Right.
And it was,
Yeah.
you know, and
Depending
when the
on where you're
train,
going, but yeah.
yeah. And we also got to remember even though we're talking about ghost trains, but we also talk about the energy of the people who built these tracks,
Mhm.
Right.
you know, and they're attached to certain trains or certain tracks. So it's just amazing to me on what this country is founded on. So
Well, and
pretty
they couldn't have
interesting.
been in like the best of working conditions because if you think about the landscaping that these trains go through, and people had to be working on that to get those
Right.
tracks going and in place. And it's kind of crazy where some of those tracks go through.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember too, the lowest of the low to the, nothing against any kind of people, but the Oriental people, as well as the African American people,
Mhm.
and some natives were considered, we're sending you guys into this tunnel to blow it up. And oh, well, you know, if we
Exactly.
lose you, you know, and it's super sad. And the Orientals, majority of them worked on the railroad. So when you go
Mhm.
downtown Pocatello, and I'm sure SOS can probably clarify it for me, but on that street where Annie Halls is and behind, that used to be Oriental Town. And you can actually see underneath the buildings where they would have their town was right underneath behind Annie Halls. So,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. Am I
There's a lot
wrong?
of
I think
wild.
so.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of wild history when it
Yeah.
comes to, the poor people that worked on these rail lines. But even now, today, there's a show, well, it used to be on, like, I think Discovery, of what it takes to keep the rail lines clear in Alaska,
Mhm.
Oh,
because
yeah.
some of the people, other than the rail lines going through or aircraft deliveries, there's no other way that they're getting product.
No.
And
No.
so they have to, what they do even now, just to keep those lines clear because of the snow and the ice and the rock that fall on the lines. It's craziness. Through the Sierra Nevadas up around Donner Pass, it's bananas how much
Oh,
snow they
man.
get.
Yeah.
So,
I can't
I
even
mean, a couple of
imagine.
years ago, they had almost 40 feet of snow
I
Oh, my
believe I
in the
seen
God.
a
winter.
picture of that. And it was just a wall of snow and
Yeah,
the train was going through. I remember
yeah,
that. And it was
So
amazing what
wild.
they do.
yeah. So there's a lot of lives lost on keeping those trains up and rolling all the time. So,
Oh, I bet.
but what story did you have, Jesse?
Oh, so I was looking at a lot of ghost trains, and it's really funny because every time I think about trains, I think about like the Polar Express, and and also we talk about how these old trains with the steam engines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how massive they were. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I hear one of those old trains or even the old whistle, my hair stands up on end. So it's a lot of respect. And I used to have nightmares getting hit by a train.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, note to self, don't be stuck on the track.
Please don't.
So yeah, no. And where I live, it's super hard because the train likes to take up the whole town.
Mm-hmm.
It does
Yes.
dictate the whole town and the
vouch.
traffic patterns.
It does.
for sure.
Absolutely.
When we were,
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
when we were working on this, the first thing I thought of when I thought Ghost Train was the scene in Ghostbusters 2 when Winston
yeah.
got hit by the actual ghost train underneath the city.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he just stood there and he's like, ah! He's getting run over by cars.
Yeah. So I am going to talk about Lincoln's funeral train. So we know our good old Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe. Following his assassination, he had a long and, journey, his body anyway. He was finally obviously laid to rest in Springfield, Illinois. And, so while he was traveling, he had a special funeral train. And note that his 11-year-old son, Willie, also, who was a victim in 1862, was a victim of typhoid fever. And his body also accompanied on this train, the same train, to go back to Illinois. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. More than 10,000 people watched as the engine and the 9 cars, including the presidential car that was remade into a hearse car. So before they traveled, they made this basically a hearse, which, were Lincoln's relatives and personal friends, as well as military honor guard, made up, luminaries from each branch of the armed forces. The train also contained the body, as well as, the 11-year-old son, Willie, who was, the train, though, hundreds of communities, it went through 7 states, made 12 significant stops in 12 cities, including, Baltimore, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, New York, Albany, and Buffalo. This also train went right through what me and SOS talked about was Sleepy Hollow, went through there as well. And yeah, which now Lincoln's final journey was versus route. He would travel to Washington as the president-elect in 1861. So he took the same train going to the same travel routes as his body went back through, which was pretty cool.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, not cool that he died, but,
we get it.
Yeah. So millions of Americans came to pay, respects to Lincoln. In New York, they said 160,000 people, watched the parade down of the train coming through. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, with the accounts that I found, that there has been a phantom funeral train that still comes through Washington, D.C. to Springfield around the anniversary time of Abraham Lincoln's death, stopping watches and clocks in the surrounding area as it passes.
It stops?
Even
watches?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
so it stops
fascinating.
watches and clocks. And it's weird because when I'm talking about this, my hair is standing up on end because I'm like, I can't even, like, I'm looking at, I'd be looking at my clock like, why is this not working? Yeah. The tale of, oh, sorry, go ahead. No, it's okay.
I came across a couple accounts of people actually seeing his funeral train come through, and they could see the hearse car, and they could see in the window, they could see the coffin and the soldiers standing around guarding it as it's passing through.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew it was him.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's amazing to me on how significant one man had an impact on all these people, you know, even today. So it's pretty amazing. Lincoln's funeral train has recorded at least generation earlier by a guy named Lloyd Lewis in Chicago. And he was the author of Myths After Lincoln, recounted in the Albany newspaper in 1945, a version of a tale. The ghost train could be seen one day every April traveling up the Harlem Division. With all the clocks stopping, whistled the train, actually 2 trains. The first with the ghostly band playing soundless instruments, and the second was a flat car of the coffin, so the hearse coffin or the hearse car. It passed by. He noted that in an early version of the tale, the train traveled on the New York Central Railroad up the Hudson Division, which it would have been the correct route, and you can still hear the steam. There's reports that people can have seen the train, and it was just like this movie of the steam just coming up underneath the engine, and you can hear the whistle. I mean, it's like people said that there's a distinct whistle with this train. It's crazy. Yeah. And it's just amazing to me and on how these trains just show. I mean, they're such big things.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy the energy that they can hold to like just make them still appear. It blows my mind.
It's a behemoth on tiny little tracks that is powered by fire and steam and can go boom at any time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
crazy.
amazing. That story of Lincoln's ghost train is just kind of phenomenal. Can you imagine not being aware that this story's out there, and you're hiking through the woods and you like those boys on the old tracks, right?
Yeah.
No.
The bed, but you see something come roaring by. Oh my God! It would just, you'd think, okay, just put me in the nut house forever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how I would feel.
Yeah.
You know, it would it would really be something. Because my goodness, what it would do to your brain to have a vision like that.
There's some places in Mexico. There's some places in Mexico they've seen, in 2 different spots they've seen ghost trains, and all the locals go, "You see that? We're going that way."
Yeah.
Because the legend is that train is coming through an area, and it's stopping at stops, and they're picking up souls to take to the afterlife.
So I can't read real well because of the surgery, but I was trying to read today. Isn't there a ghost train out of Durango, Colorado as well? Or somewhere over there?
I think so. It's like a mining train. They used it for mining.
Yeah, I think so. And a lot of people have witnessed that train as well and have heard it. It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and interesting enough too with the Lincoln train, our young Theodore Roosevelt, who is going to be our future president, he was one of the spectators that was able to watch this train, which gave him kind of like an inspiration, like I want to better this country, that this doesn't happen again. So but it did, unfortunately. So
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and almost again.
Yeah.
So amazing. It's amazing stuff.
It is pretty crazy.
I'm summoning my inner deacon here, but what would happen if Harry Potter got on the wrong train instead of the one to Hogwarts?
It would be a completely different movie.
Pocatello?
Pocatello.
Yeah, why would
traumatized.
Just imagine him getting. He's like, and you're like, yeah.
It'd be like like the airplanes. Where's my trunk? I don't know.
Oh my God. You are channeling
Oh.
tonight, Birdie.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Roblox, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Nope.
You're going that way. Or that way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Birdie.
And you know what? If I was part of Hogwarts or something like that, like Harry Potter, that's probably what would happen to me. Probably end up like in Pocatello or Salt Lake or something like that. And I would, think I have this majestic owl, and all reality, I've got a chicken with a big old freaking.
How about
That's
the
awesome.
Like,
chicken from
people are up
Moana?
here and I'm down in Chattahoochee down here,
Hellwarts. You're going to Hellwarts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I can see this happening, though. I really can visualize it perfectly.
I would have a
you and a
chicken
chicken.
named Hey
Yeah.
Stressed out chicken that's missing a bunch of feathers named Hey Hey.
I
Yeah.
actually have a few of those chickens right now, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Pretty
arrange this
majestic.
to happen. Oh, those poor
No.
chickens.
Well, this was a good episode. I thought that was really interesting to talk about the ghost trains out there. So
There's
Yeah.
a lot more. There's quite a few more that are rolling around
we'll have to do a part 2 on this topic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Revisit.
I mean-
because like you said, there's a lot more, and there's some interesting phenomenon with these trains, with the lights, everything about them. So, I mean, take the energy involved to manifest something like that is off the charts. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Because you think of what the energy it takes for like an apparition to appear, and then you're talking a full size freaking train.
right.
That has
That's
the
right.
And it has
sounds and
so many
lights and
witnesses.
everything.
Yeah,
almost
it's
like
just crazy.
It's almost like a spiritual lightning rod. Instead of going up and down, it goes like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
And I really wonder if atmosphere plays a part in it. Like, I wonder if it's the moisture in the air, the condensate, whatever it is, the electrical field, something, I mean,
I can
are
see
these
that.
associated with lightning storms? Because then you got all that power helping manifest. I don't know. Pretty interesting.
I don't know. I think about portals too. Like,
Mhm.
I fully believe that Bigfoot travels from portal to portal. What if these are coming out of portals and they're, I don't know.
that
There's
could
so
be.
many different theories. It's
I
crazy.
like that too.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
very well could be. I don't know why I never go there first. But that's interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sure.
conditions are met just right. Portal opens up, it goes roaring through, and then eventually the energy dissipates, and so does the train. But if you just happen to be in the right spot, you're going to see it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
probably freak out, but you're going to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
I-
what my reaction would be. Oh,
I
Jesus.
would probably poop my pants, I'm not gonna lie. And I'd be like,
The
today's
accuracy.
not a good day.
Just go, "Yep, that just happened. Now I'm going to
Yep.
go home. Change."
I need to go home. I need to take a shower. I need to go back to bed.
Yeah. I'd be like that lady on Bridesmaids where she's going across the street. She's got
Yeah.
diarrhea. That would be me. It just happened. Yep, it happened. Me and my chicken, hey.
Yes. He can sit on your shoulder. He's skinny enough. He can just kind of sit there, snuggle with you.
You know what? I think at that point he'd be like, I'm embarrassed. I'm going to go find somebody else.
Poor Hey.
Aw. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, this has been a fun episode.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for everybody for tuning in, and
Like and
Are we
subscribe.
Are we
Yeah,
done?
like and subscribe.
Yep.
It's only
Check
what,
out-
$5?
Go to Patreon.
Yeah,
Yes.
We've
$5
got so
on
much
Patreon.
content there now. I
Yeah.
think we have, what do we have, over 50 videos on there now? Of things.
Yes.
Ash has got a series on spooky kids. On I love it. It's not that they're spooky, but they have abilities, children with abilities, and how to deal with that. And then Messy Jessie and I, we've got 2 different shows going on there. And Dirty Birdie, it promises content, right? And
I
so, yeah. And yeah, so I'm putting you on the hook for everybody to see. But yeah, no, we have a lot of stuff going on. It's fun, and there's different things for you guys so to watch.
We also got
What is-
merch, and we got the
Yeah, what's the merch site?
T Public.
Is it T Public? And it's NRS, right? Nightmare Roadshow / NRS.
Yes,
I believe so.
Yeah. And so,
We
yeah,
could-
tons and tons of merch on there. A lot of people
Yep.
buying shirts and mugs, and it's just so cool. So
shirts for
Yeah.
kids, sweatshirts.
yeah.
I mean, who does not want to walk into a Monday More meeting with like Nightmare Roadshow crew on their coffee cup? I do.
Right?
I
Right?
do.
Great idea.
This is right around the corner.
It's
Get some
true.
coffee cups
That's
for
right.
for your buddies. There's all kinds of
Stocking
stuff.
stuffers.
The Wendigo is one of my favorites, but we have so
That
much
one's
stuff.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
so much
I like
stuff.
the Ghost Girl too.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yes.
Those girl.
That's
Yes.
one of my
Ghost Girl.
favorites.
Under the bed. That's the other one.
Oh yeah.
Based on
Yeah.
Messy Jessie's Nightmare.
Or you can get our faces on your shirt.
That's right. You can
I
walk
mean, you
into a
could.
meeting with all of our faces. So.
Yeah.
And then we also have the TikTok channel that
Mhm.
Ash runs for us. It's really good, but we all have our own channels. So I have Pocatello Paranormal, Messy Jessie. Is it Messy Jessie?
Yep, Messy Jessie,
Yep.
and I give sometimes spiritual advice, but sometimes not. Just depends on the day.
Sometimes it's just messy.
It's just messy.
The Dirty Birdie, yours is codename Dirty Birdie?
Yep. Codename Dirty Birdie.
Yep. And then Decon has got a channel. So all of us have
Mhm.
working all of the social media out there. So
Yes.
thanks for
ma'am.
all of your subscriptions, your likes, your comments. We appreciate them.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. And we'll end the show. Make sure that you look both ways before you cross Nightmare Road.
Night, everybody.